Welcome everyone to Meditation Mount and to this full moon meditation in the solar sign of Gemini with the moon in Sagittarius. So we find ourselves in different parts of the world, and yet we're gathered here in virtual space. So let us gather and bring ourselves present. And we do this by becoming mindful of our breath, bringing ourselves to a point of stillness, allowing any tensions in our physical body to be released. Letting go of any emotional stirrings that may be swirling. And allowing our mind to be emptied, free and open. And following the breath, let us enter the silent space of the heart together. And at the center of our heart is the eternal flame that we call the fire of love. And standing in the fire of love and standing as the fire of love, we see ourselves joined together by lighted lines of love, heart to heart, to heart, to heart. And we weave together a matrix of love, a group heart in which we stand together and serve. This is our unified field of community and communion. Thank you. So we've arrived at the third of the three major festivals of the spiritual year. If you remember, we began in the fire sign of Aries with Easter, with its theme of regeneration and resurrection. We then continued in the earth sign of Taurus last month with the Wesak Festival and the blessing of earth by the Buddha. And now today it culminates in the air sign of Gemini with the Festival of Goodwill, also called the Festival of Humanity. And this is an opportunity and also a deep call to serve. So I'll say some words now just to provide a context and to provide some setting for the meditation, because this is the third of these spiritual festivals and it carries a very special opportunity for the distribution of energy, particularly the energy that was brought to the earth by the Buddha in Taurus. So we could say that each of these three spiritual festivals carries its own extraplanetary, solar, and cosmic forces and energies and transmits them from what we would call the vault of heaven. This is the etheric network which provides the medium of transmission for all energies which play upon and through our solar system, as well as the planetary spheres and all forms of life that live and move and have their being upon these spheres. So if you can imagine this one unbroken field of activity, which is this golden web, and this golden web is in constant motion, and it transmits the energies to be used by us, and they're accessible to all those who recognize them, are able to receive, register, and cooperate with them. So that's what we're doing today. These energies are pouring through our solar system, pouring through our planet right now. And the more conscious we are of them, the more we can work with them and work with those beings at deeper dimensions of life who watch over us and work with us. So this festival, significantly, occurs each year at the time of the Gemini Solar Festival. It's important because Gemini controls the heart of our solar system. And it's this sign of Gemini that rhythmically and ceaselessly pulsates the cosmic energy of love and wisdom into all areas of our planetary life. So Gemini is this zodiacal gateway that provides the perpetual flow of essential love as a constant, ever-present permeation of all planes and states of planetary consciousness. It suffuses everything. Now, we're told that our solar system is an expression of the second ray of love wisdom. And the energy reaches us on Earth through the sign of Gemini, which, along with the constellations of the Great Bear and the Pleiades, form a cosmic triangle affecting the life and work of all of us on the Earth, all peoples and all nations. So Gemini has a very important role as being this gateway for cosmic love. So once a year, we have the opportunity to allow this love to flow through and into the Earth. So let's look at Gemini. The ruling planets of Gemini are Mercury, that's the exoteric ruler. We have Venus, which is the esoteric ruler. And we have Earth, which is the hierarchical ruler. There's only one ray pouring through the portal of this sign, and that is the aforementioned second ray of love wisdom. So we call this the Festival of Goodwill because goodwill is the primary expression of divine love upon earth. So today's festival can help us amplify the frequency of love within the auric field of our humanity, because that is the whole object of life on earth, is to give birth to the light of love. So love is like a synthesizing energy that unites the pairs of opposites within each of us. It brings harmony, it brings synthesis. And the sign of Gemini is ruled by the heavenly twins, Castor and Pollux. So it is a sign of duality in which the pairs of opposites can be resolved. And this is really reflected so clearly in the spiritual motto of Gemini. It reflects its twofold nature. And this is what it sounds like. I recognize my other self, and in the waning of that self, I grow and glow. So really, it's basically saying, as the fire of my personality begins to dim down and the light of my soul grows, then I become a great force for good and a point of love upon this planet. So we've said that this is the Festival of Goodwill, the Festival of Humanity. It's also called by another name. It's also called the Festival of the Christ. And it might be helpful to point out that in the ancient archives, before Christianity ever came on the scene, the term Christ was a title attributed to the purified or initiated one, just as the title of Buddha was given to Siddhartha Gautama as a title of attainment indicating his ability to access Buddhic consciousness. So the title of Christ indicates the attainment of a high degree of initiation, which makes possible a love so inclusive that it encompasses all souls and all life on our planet. It is the all-ensouling, all-encompassing love, the love of the Christ. So this is why this office of the Christ is often translated as the world teacher, and why the Christ is referred to in the ageless wisdom as the teacher of love and unity. And this pulsating, reverberating planetary point of love divine is called the Lord of love and compassion. So these are sort of very strong, powerful names associated with this presence. It simply says that the Christ presence is the ultimate expression of love on this planet. And within each of us is that same Christ within, that same, if you like, promise of love waiting to flower. So just a couple more names that are used. The Christ is described in the Bible, I believe it's in Romans, as the eldest in a great family of brothers. So it's like the first of the human family to reach this point of being able to embody and express and radiate love. And he's also referred to as the master of all the masters and the teacher alike of angels and men. So those are some of the names. So what happens at this particular festival? There's an ancient legend that tells that at the time of this full moon, the Christ gives again the last sermon of the Buddha that explains the cause of suffering and how to overcome it. And this way it links the full enlightenment of the pre-Christian era and the wisdom of the Buddha to the cycle of distribution of the energy of love for which Christ is responsible, as we said, the eldest in a great family of brothers and sisters. So let's continue that tradition and imagine that we're standing here repeating with the Christ presence the Buddha's last sermon. So I'd like to offer, if you like, a synthesis of that last sermon. Herein, O Ananda, let a brother, as he dwells in the body, so regard the body that he, being strenuous, thoughtful, and mindful, may, whilst in the world, overcome the grief which arises from the body's cravings. While subject to sensations, let him continue so to regard the sensations that he, being strenuous, thoughtful, and mindful, may, whilst in the world, overcome the grief which arises from the sensations. And so also, when he thinks or reasons or feels, let him so regard his thought that, being strenuous, thoughtful, and mindful, he may, whilst in the world, overcome the grief which arises from the craving due to ideas or to reasoning or to feeling. Those who, either now or after I am dead, shall be a lamp unto themselves, relying upon themselves only and not relying upon any external help, but holding fast to the truth as their lamp and seeking their salvation in the truth alone, shall not look for assistance to anyone besides themselves. It is they, Ananda, among my bhikshus, who shall reach the very topmost height, but they must be anxious to learn. My age is now full ripe. My life draws to its close. I leave you. I depart, relying on myself alone. Be earnest then, O brethren, holy, full of thought. Be steadfast in resolve. Keep watch over your own hearts. Who wearies not, but holds fast to his truth and law, shall cross this sea of life, shall make an end of grief. When the light of gnosis has dispelled the darkness of ignorance, when all existence has been seen as without substance, peace ensues when life draws to an end, which seems to cure a long sickness at last. Everything, whether stationary or movable, is bound to perish in the end. Be ye therefore mindful and vigilant. The time for my entry into nirvana has now arrived. These are my last words. So you can imagine the Buddha giving his last sermon basically telling his followers and all of us, just live in the present, live in the now, let go of all attachments, just be here now. So let's go back to Buddha and Christ, because they're more than religious personages. We hold the Buddha and the Christ to be great exemplars and way showers for our own evolutionary journey. They achieved that to which we aspire, and they reached a degree of mastery as embodiments of light and love, respectively. Now, that's the path we're treading, and at some point in the future, we will also learn to embody that light and that love. So you could say the Buddha and the Christ are like the two pillars of Gemini, which is the sign that we said is the cosmic gateway for the forces of Sirius to permeate its lower self, our solar system, infusing it with energies of a greater cosmic plan and purpose. So let's just bring this introduction to completion by saying the importance of this festival has added significance today because of the present state of the world, with its persistent global pandemic, widespread civil unrest and war, and alarming and looming environmental crises. So today, as we gather with light and like-hearted groups and individuals around the world to engage in a collective meditation, let us be mobilized. Let us come together as a force for good and regeneration. Let us bring the light of a new day into the hearts and minds of our humanity. Now, the version of the Great Invocation that Diana will be using in the meditation today actually refers to the coming one. It says, "May the coming one return to earth." And so by way of ending this introduction, let me say a few words about the doctrine of avatars. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, who really is the soul or the Christ presence within, declares, "Whenever there is a withering of the law and an uprising of lawlessness on all sides, then I manifest myself for the salvation of the righteous and the destruction of such as do evil, for the firm establishing of the law, I come to birth, age after age." So this is the coming one. And this anticipated coming one is known by different names in the different world traditions. For the Jewish people, it's the Messiah. For some of the Muslim sects, it's the Imam Mahdi. For Christians, it's the return of the Christ. And for Buddhists, it's the coming of the Lord Maitreya. So what if we view the coming one and the accompanying band of helpers as universal first responders, responding to a desperate and despairing cry from the heart of a divided humanity? But they're not coming to bail us out, but to, as it says in the Ageless Wisdom, show us the light we seek and give us the strong aid of their compassion and wisdom. So this band of spiritual first responders is also responding to the deep call of the soul of the planet and seeking to help us organize and mobilize ourselves as a force for good. So the Festival of Goodwill is when we as one human family can open our heart and unleash the power of love into the world. We can bring ourselves consciously into alignment with the presence of a greater love. That is the Christ presence that lives within each of us. So mindful of this, holding this in heart and mind, Diana will now lead us in the Festival of Goodwill meditation.
Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. And we're speaking from Meditation Mount, this powerful note that we're sharing, that we're sounding, and this opportunity, right, to sense our interconnectedness, heart to heart to heart to heart, our interconnectedness. And I'm using that phrase like a mantra to begin this meditation as we start to enter the space of our interconnectedness, horizontally and vertically, our interconnectedness. Use that phrase to connect. It was interesting this morning in my own meditation. I was saying the great invocation. Today is World Invocation Day. And I was saying it, as I always do, every time I meditate. And I could feel, sense, hear the group saying the great invocation with me in a way I have never felt before. An interconnectedness in the great invocation. And as I gave each line, it was as if millions were saying these lines with me, because the whole world, or much of the world, is aware of this prayer, of this alchemical prayer that we have access to at this time when we really, really need it. And so this dissemination, this expression of the Gemini energy going out after we've built from Aries, where it came in the unformed, and then landed in Taurus, in the form, and then now, right, it's released to the world. And so we hold these energies together. And when we do the great invocation at the end of our meditation, see if you can feel and sense that group energy that is holding the pattern with the divine plan. See if you can sense this. It's such a relief to be here together for this full moon. Feel if you can sense that too. The kindredness, the spiritual family of conscious souls of the New World Group servers. We are holding the pattern with together by our heart and by our consciousness. So interconnectedly, we begin to move into that second ray of love, wisdom. And you can feel it even as I drop that phrase into the setting of this meditation, how it drops one drop of blue, electric blue dye into the vat, to the vessel of the water of our group consciousness, how it turns the whole bowl, that whole vessel, that water is affected and turns blue as we together join our awareness in this meditation. So those are some thoughts to hold as we enter now. So when you're ready to, just start to set up our chalice. Let your eyes close and notice how you are. And on one of this next breaths in a conscious way, relax the physical body. Consciously relaxing the physical body. And then in a conscious way, noticing yourself. And on one of these next breaths, balancing the emotional body. from all the noise and all the upset out there. There's a lot going on right now. Balancing the emotional body. And then finally, organizing yourself, sensing inside yourself the mental body. And on one of these next breaths, using the breath consciously to balance the mental body. Having done so then, sense the group interconnectedness. All these hearts around the world, all this consciousness across the planet, interconnected by heart, interconnected by awareness of each other. We hold the pattern. And aligning the personality with the soul. Take your seat then in the head center, in the cave, and using a silent Om as you do, taking residence in the head center. Recognizing your place within the ashram. Linking with the presence of the coming one and the masters and teachers that support this. And as we enter into the space then, and opening into the meditation, we'll use this seed thought to take into the silent space. Receiving and receptive, we stand as living consciousness, open to the divine plan as it expresses into our world. Receiving and receptive, we stand as living consciousness, open to the divine plan as it expresses into our world. And now with this seed thought, we move into the silence. aligned with the heart of Sirius. Letting yourself be infused with this divine light. And then that crystalline clarity allowing yourself to begin to allow these impressions to form in the group chalice. That breathe and live and move into thought forms over these next days and now. That we will be working with. For many moons to come. So when we, in a moment, will say the great invocation, intone it, we become a group voice, sounding the note that we built within the meditation and that has been given. And we make it like an offering to humanity. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into all human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it heal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power. Restore the plan on earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Good. The moon will be full exactly tonight, tomorrow morning at 4:52 a.m. You can touch into it again between now and then and bring these energies out like an exhalation, like an om, expressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. So we are living at the appointed hour. This is the birth of the fire of love upon our planet. So we are asking that the coming one return to Earth. And we can help create the conditions for this to occur more readily by allowing that presence of a greater love to be born inside the cave of our own human heart. So we prepare the field by allowing the Christ within to blossom. So the coming one is not just an external appearance. It's the appearance and the full flowering of that love that lives at the heart of who we are. And it's up to us to cultivate that flower, to cultivate that love, and through daily acts of loving kindness, to give it expression. So as we close out this meditation today for the Festival of Humanity, the Festival of the Christ, we will be standing together inside the group heart where the fire of love burns, where this presence of a greater love resides. And we will send out from our group heart the fire of love and see it touch the hearts of all our sisters and brothers around the world, awakening them to the realization of the indwelling divinity, the Christ within. So let us take a few deep breaths to bring ourselves into resonance with the fire of love that burns at the center of our heart. And we will sound the Tibetan bowl 3 times. And with each sounding, we breathe out a wave of love from our heart to the heart of our one humanity, and see the fire of love ignite. And with the second wave, we see this fire of love consuming all hatred and revealing the love that underlies all things. And for the third wave of love that we send out from our heart, we see the fire of love consume and dismantle and dissolve all thoughts of separation, so that what is revealed is the fact of our oneness. Thank you. So this festival of humanity really is the coming of age of our human realm. And we know we've come of age when love can flow freely through us and from us into our world, when we can love unconditionally. So may we be that force for good in the coming days and weeks and months, and help give birth to that greater presence of love that burns at the heart of our planet. Blessings on this festival of humanity, this festival of goodwill. Thank you for the strength and the power and the joy of being together, because we are a unified band of servers, of sisters and brothers. We are a force for good in the world. Much gratitude and blessings from Meditation Mount.